The newsreels are dead. We've bored the public for too long. Give me this opportunity, and I'll prove it. Thank you. Of course, I'll need an assistant.
2 minutes, Mr. Lyon.
But may I say one more thing? You haven't seen my best yet. There needs to be more on mine. Crack in on caption 3, then knock off. Stand by studio.
Mr. Lyon.
Q grams.
5 seconds.
5. 4.
Yes, I'm ready.
3. 2. 1. Cue Johnny.
And here they are, the debutantes of 1956.
Roll newsreel.
Young ladies of distinction, enjoying a day at Royal Ascot. And one young woman in particular has caught the eye of a certain leading man, actor Adam Leray. Engagement looks set for the Honourable Ruth Elms, daughter of Lord Elms of Framlingham, to this eligible young bachelor. All of London society awaits the peal of wedding bells.
Cue telecine.
And now, here is a summary of the news from abroad.
Did you get it? We got it. Producer? Foreign debt. Bravo. I haven't told Freddie yet. Good luck.
In Egypt, election victory for the Arab nationalist Colonel Gamal Abdel Nasser. Here he is, with Prime Minister Anthony Eden, during last year's visit to Cairo, where they discussed the future of the Suez Canal Company. And that is the end of the news and newsreels from Alexandra Palace. Good night.
And thanking you, gentlemen and Alice, for another fascinating evening. May you go home once again happy in the knowledge that we have delivered the important news of the day with the same brisk banality as a debutante coming out in Mayfair. 3, 2, 1.
Did somewhat neglect his duties as a son. So, you see, even the pharaohs failed to write to their mothers. And on that note, papers in by Friday, please. Any late papers will be returned to you unread. Be warned.
Hello, operator. Put me through to Bloomsbury 7428. Darling, our guests are arriving. Lipstick. I left my lipstick in the...
Impeccable as ever, Johnny. Thank you.
Tables, please.
Moneypenny?
James. Friday's running order. Next time do it yourself. I am not your secretary. Night.
And what of tomorrow, Mr. Wingrove? I'm gunning for Kennedy for the VP nom, but who knows? A new hat for the Queen Mother? A rare sow with 20 in her litter?
Mr. Lyon, tonight, at Clarendon, you're covering the engagement.
How could I forget, Georgie?
Who's getting married?
Just another debutante.
Night, George.
How was I?
Bit slow on that last cue.
Nice watch. Does the broker know it's missing?
Banker.
Please, the details of your love life do not interest me at all. Where did you dine?
Shakey's. We had oysters, and afterwards he took me to the theatre.
Dinner, then the theatre. I do love a man who plans. That way around, no one goes to sleep on a full stomach.
Can I catch a lift?
8 letters, 14 down. Treacherous foe in bad or in good faith. Something O, something F, something D.
Bona fide.
Ready?
We are calcifying in television news.
Agreed.
How? Martial law, may